Yeah, so I'm 0 for 3. Now, I don't normally wear this one. I'd be wearing the regular one, but Chloe Moritz was rocking this one when they did the whole return of the NHL thing, and she was doing Let's Go Islanders, and I thought, wow, I haven't seen anybody rocking this jersey in a while, so Chloe, for wearing the Brooklyn one, I'll wear it for this review. And this was an Islanders game, and the bad news was that it was up against the fantastic Chicago-Edmonton game that was just amazing. Of the 3 games today, we had Carolina and the Rangers, which I knew was going to be great, and it was. Chicago and Edmonton, which was just crazy. And this, which, I mean, it was a hockey game. They went out there and they played. And there was an injury. And right away, all I thought was, if they had 13 forwards, 7 defensemen, we wouldn't be seeing the Islanders short. But anyways, that's a whole other discussion for another time. Varlamov started for the Islanders. Wallmark was a late scratch. Now, I didn't hear why Wallmark was a late scratch, but there are these phantom things where Shesterkin was a late scratch for the Rangers, wasn't on the bench, and Wallmark now a late scratch here. So, building dramatic tension, I guess. Vetrano would slam Boychuk into the boards, and it was a delayed penalty that was coming up actually against the Islanders. So Vetrano with that hit on Boychuk actually turned it into a 4-on-4, so that's a whoops. Should have been a power play, and he gets too physically exertive out there, and that's what happens. Hoffman then took a penalty that gives the Islanders a 4-on-3. So Islander fans have discussed all year that their team doesn't get power plays, and rightfully so. They don't get very many power plays. I think it's just the style of hockey they play. It doesn't draw out a lot of power plays from the opposition, or a lot of penalties from the opposition. But anyways, 5 minutes and 12 seconds in, Dadonov takes a penalty, gives the Islanders another power play. But the interesting thing is it kind of stops there. So as many penalties as we've seen in other games today, this one really settled down from there. They let them play, and it is that style of hockey that the Islanders play that I think leads to this. A lot of continuous action, not a ton of shots necessarily, and just some really, really good play. Bobrovsky got off to a good start. He had a good game. He really did. He had a good game today. But Pajot would score from Brassard at 12 minutes. Now, it didn't help that the Islanders did get all of the shots to start the game. And it was after that goal that Florida finally, we need to start playing. Felt like that kind of kicked in. The Islanders took some pressure created some pressure after they took the lead. And then the Panthers get a power play late. Varlamov was up to the task. Had an excellent game. The Islanders, they do something simple. You just get that 1-goal lead, and then you just kind of sit back. You rely on your goaltending. Your defense keeps the plays out to the periphery, so those shots that are coming in shouldn't be from prime scoring real estate. And so it's 1-0 Islanders after 1. Second period, early chances for the Islanders, and Bobrovsky continued to hold Florida in this. Boychuk then went down. Matheson hits him with a shoulder to the head. The Islanders get a power play, but they did a review on this. So initially it was 5 in a game. It was 5. He was going to be thrown out of the game. Those are immediately reviewed, and I always hear announcers saying, "Well, it's referee's discretion." No, 5-minute majors are all reviewed now. So this is not referee's discretion. You have to review a 5-minute major if you're throwing a guy out of the game. So they reviewed it and they turned it into a minor, which was weird because I thought that I could understand it being a major. The one thing I'll say is, and I'm sure the NHL will clarify this if they haven't already, is that the referees must have seen the point of contact with Boychuk was here first and then the head. And I could kind of see that. Now, they may have had an angle that we didn't have watching from home. So we'll see, but they rescinded the major and they turned it into a minor. This is what that is designed for. But if you're an Islander fan, it doesn't really help at all anyways, because not only do you not get the 5-minute major power play, but you lose Johnny Boychuk for the rest of the game. I would think Dobson goes in for the next one. Could be Green. We'll see what Barry Trotz decides to do. So with Boychuk gone to the locker room, there is a power play, and they would score on it. The New York Islanders, it's Beauvillier scoring from Taves and Bailey. So if your last name was Taves today, you got on a scoreboard. Barzal was then down behind the net, but he was okay. And of course, if you're an Islander fan and you see Barzal shaken up at all, that's when you're like, okay, this isn't funny now, guys. Barzal's okay. Okay, Barzal's okay. All right. Boychuk's out. That's what we can deal with Boychuk being out. There are some who will probably argue that Boychuk at this point in his career, if he's out and you put in Dobson, that's an upgrade. And we'll see. But, Barzal, not so much. The Islanders down to 5 defensemen, and really it did seem to affect them. Florida did have a majority of the play in that second period. And Hoffman, very, very mouthy on the ice today. like we're talking like almost Evander Kane levels of being mouthy on the ice. Just chirping and just getting, trying to get under the Islanders' skin and doing his best to do so with mixed results. Pulock got shaken up. The Oilers were down to 4 defensemen briefly. But when you see Pulock go down too, that's where it's like, okay, seriously, stop going down. If you're a New York Islander player, just stop. We don't want to see more guys get hurt. This whole everybody healthy thing, it doesn't last very long once you start playing the important games like this. Bobrovsky denied Beauvillier, and to me, it seemed like the Islanders late in that second period were a step quicker to the pucks. That 2-goal lead gave them some added confidence as well, and they were just quicker to the puck. There was a scrum late in the second period. Nothing came of it, though. So things get kind of physical, a little chippy, but nothing really came of it. No fighting in this. Varlamov continued, at least in what I saw, and I'm pretty sure I saw the whole thing. Like, I'm watching on my phone while I'm watching another game on the TV, so it's one of those things. Varlamov continued to continue to close the door. The Islanders pressured in the last 2 minutes, and then Bobrovsky denied Nelson in the last minute. Brock Nelson, who was snakebit last year in the playoffs against Carolina, had tons of really good opportunities, but the stat line would tell you Nelson didn't score. I would tell you Nelson was very good, just for whatever reason, the puck just wouldn't go in. Today, kind of felt like that, except they had a 2-0 lead, so I'm sure it felt a lot better. Third period, 23 seconds in. Jonathan Huberdeau gets a goal from Uyghur and Barkov, and it felt like the Panthers had the momentum, and maybe we were going to be looking at a tie. But the Islanders, that Cizikas line, every time it was out there, Cizikas with Clutterbuck and Martin, they shut that down. And you can see in this just how important Cizikas was. This is a team that won 2 out of 10 going into the break, and a large part of that was without Casey Cizikas, this team was not the same. So that line of Cizikas and Martin and Clutterbuck is key for the New York Islanders if they're going to end up taking out Florida. And by the time we reached the third period, I was saying, why do I keep taking Florida? Why is it when Florida is in a playoff, and I'm like, yeah, I'll take Florida. I am pretty sure, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that the last time Florida and the Islanders played each other in the playoffs, I took Florida to win that one too. And came out of that going, well, I guess not. And here I am again thinking, why do I take Florida to win things? I take them to make the playoffs. I take them to win playoffs here. I don't know what it is. I think it's wish fulfillment on my part, where it's like, okay, if I wish it hard enough, maybe it happens, and it just doesn't. So the Islanders had the first 10 shots of the game, but there was a post for Uyghur, and they talked about how, it's a fast-paced game. The Panthers had outshot them 26-12 between when it was a 10-0 shot lead and the halfway point of that third period. But it's 2-1 for the Islanders, right? Bobrovsky denied Nelson. And then when Nelson had another prime chance, he denied him again. So rather than putting up 2 different notes on 2 different lines, I just went, he denied him again. This was rinse and repeat. Both goaltenders one-upping each other. The Islanders were definitely playing an Islanders level game. This is what the Islanders do. They get outshot, they get a lead, and then they just kind of sit on it. I've talked about it. I talked about the rope-a-dope when they beat the Rangers the other day. And everybody said it doesn't matter, these games don't matter. And now here we are after game 1. The Islanders and the Rangers are trending in the same direction they did in the exhibition game. Once we're done all the game 1s, I'm going to look at how teams that won the game before the play-in, won that exhibition game, how they do compared to the teams that lost, and see if there's a correlation around that. So the Panthers wanted a delay of game call, but the puck did nick the glass on the way over, so they didn't get that call. The Panthers then iced the puck with 1 minute and 20 seconds left. It just felt like they were shooting themselves in the foot in that last couple of minutes. And it was the Cizikas line that was forcing it. The Cizikas line made them ice that puck And they're those plays you're not going to see on the score sheet, but this is why Cizikas is beloved by Islander fans. Mostly, I would think. Maybe not 100%, but I would think probably 90-95%. They pull the goalie with a minute left, and Florida, honestly, they had some chances here and there, but I never really thought anything was going in. The Islanders have a 1-0 series lead. They win this one 2-1. This was an Islanders game. The shots, 11-9 Islanders in the first, 14-7 Florida in the second, and then in the third, when they can lock it down, they did. They outshot Florida 10-5. Final shots were 28 each. Hits were 32-29 in favor of Florida. The power plays, Florida only had one, didn't score on it, and the Islanders were 1 for 3. So there you go. Special teams battle goes to the Islanders, and they won it by a goal, so that's how they win. It wasn't pretty. I'm not going to pretend it was a pretty game, especially while absolute bonkers craziness is going on the other side with the Chicago-Edmonton game. But, this was still, just as important. And for the Islanders, they are 2 wins away from officially being in the playoffs. And for Florida fans, man. So looking at the results today, I'm thinking, so which of the teams that could very well be out of the 3 teams that lost today would be acceptable to get the number 1 draft pick in a lottery? And the answer I have so far is no. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But we're 9 days away from the second part of the draft lottery. And whoever wins, there's going to be a meltdown. I don't think it matters. I really don't think it matters. There will be reasons. Just imagine if Florida ends up out and they get Lafreniere to go with Barkov and Huberdeau. And that lineup that they have, just add Lafreniere to that lineup and tell me people wouldn't panic. All right. This was a fun afternoon. It's not over yet. Of course, we got Montreal and Pittsburgh starting in 45 minutes after when this is going to post. And then, of course, we have Winnipeg and Calgary to close out the night. So I still got a lot of work left, but hey, it's fun. And this game definitely had its moments. Hopefully Boychuk's okay, and if he isn't, if he's not going to play in the next game, I think they'll be okay. Whether they put Green in the lineup or whether it's Dobson, they have a lot of depth on the blue line, and this is where you need it. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support, and hey, don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're just passing your way through and you happened upon this video. Thanks again. I will talk to you very soon.